Because I'm a prosecutor, it's here. It's in my DNA. Okay? I'm skeptical. I'm cautious. But Americans are good people. We want to give people the benefit of the doubt. We feel bad. We're the most charitable people on earth. Take that one to the bank. And don't tell me, as they told us for years, that's not who we are. I know who I am. I don't need you to set up a whole new set of what I need to do so you can tell me I know who I am. Because I already know who I am. And you know who I'm talking about. What's with this school choice? Congratulations to Idaho. Congratulations for sticking with it. The senator, whoever she is over there, and everybody else who was involved, and the head of the assembly, the speaker, who I think is at my table. God bless you. God bless you for not giving up. Now, I have a bone to pick with a woman. Her name is Randi Weingarten. And it's not even for what you think it is. It's not. It's just everything she does. Okay? The woman is in the Ukraine. Not once. Not twice. She's in the Ukraine 3 times. What the hell are you doing in the Ukraine? You know what she's doing there? She was comparing the educational system of the United States to the educational system in Ukraine. The only problem is there's no school in Ukraine because they bombed all the schools. So what are you doing there, Randi? What are you doing there? You figure it out, folks. This is a woman who is the head of I think it's the United Federation of Teachers, the UFT or the AFT, who couldn't find one metric, not a one, to get our kids back to school. Not a one. The billions of dollars, billions. Catholic schools were open. Lutheran schools were open. The charter schools were open. The other schools are open. Why can't you open the public schools? The damage that you have done to our children, to our little babies who are learning to articulate interpersonal communication, 2-year-olds who had to have a mask on, and you're supposed to teach them how to talk, and they're supposed to read and understand how to formulate words, to the kids who are home drinking and doing drugs and getting fentanyl by accident and dying as a result of it. We are suffering for a generation because of that mindset, folks. We're never going to let that happen again. Never. And I'll tell you where the next fight is. I think it's Illinois. Well, of course it's Illinois, but I mean, I'm thinking this. I think Illinois had a bill today that was defeated, where they were trying to monitor all homeschooling with impromptu stop-bys and then checking the curriculum. So I said to myself, what is the curriculum? CRT? Drag queen story hour? What is the curriculum for them to monitor and determine whether or not our kids are being properly schooled? Now, I did a movie, not a big movie. It's called God's Not Dead. It's called God's Not Dead. I was in one, but this is We the People, the second one. I play a judge, Elizabeth Neely. She was a witch. I don't know why they picked me. But she had to decide the very issue. In the movie, and this is 2 years old, maybe 3 now, in the movie, a Christian family is trying to homeschool their children. And you got these left-wing local progressives who are not interested in religion being taught. Of course, the Supreme Court just put an end to that when they said that you can't use school vouchers for religious schools. but I'm sure you already know that. But anyway, so I play this judge who has to decide whether or not she is going to sanction the parents or whether or not she's going to send them to jail if they don't put their kids in public school. In the end, I turn around, and because they make the case profoundly, the parents who are homeschooling have a fundamental right to homeschool their children. You have that right. And it all started in Loudoun County, Virginia, when they said they're our kids and we'll decide what we're going to teach them. And that's why the Department of Education is gone. Okay? And that's why now, more than ever, electing people for the Board of Education is crucial. Those people for the local school board have to be people that you vet and make sure that they're on the same page as you are. Because there's no point in getting rid of the DOE if you've got local DOEs. All right? And the same with prosecutors. You know, prosecutors aren't like what they used to be. We've got George Soros prosecutors. All right? Do you remember the Danny Penny case? We all love him. In fact, I texted him this past week. He was in a kilt. Did you see him? Did you see him? He's a Scot. And they, one of the law enforcement agencies had him model in a kilt. And he told me he was so embarrassed. This guy was a real man. The Democrats want to tell you what a man is. I'll tell you what a man is. Donald Trump is a man. Danny Penny is a man. Okay? These are men who stand up for what they think is right. I'll tell you who isn't a man. Tampon Tim isn't a man. I don't know what's with that guy. But I don't have time to talk about him. But anyway, Danny Penny stood up. And the DA, I sat in that courtroom every day and then went and did the 5. I'm telling you, folks, that DA did everything in his power to put Danny Penny in jail for the rest of his life. Okay? And that's because Al Sharpton showed up with his gang of friends and they intimidated the DA. The same DA who prosecuted Donald Trump for 34 crimes, the names of which no one can tell you because even the verdict sheet wasn't clear as to what he was convicted of. All right? So much has changed. So much we've lost. When we think we've already gotten past it, it can be gone in a second. And it can only be gone if we allow people inside this country to destroy us. Now, I don't know if you have this in Idaho. Do you have no cash bail in Idaho? Okay, do they get out as soon as they commit a crime? Is that a yes or a no? Hell, I want to come and live here. Really? You keep them in? Good for you, because it's not the case in most of this country. In most of this country, in addition to Democrats saying that bail is basically unconstitutional, when it is part of the 8th Amendment to the Constitution, which is kind of bizarre, in most of this country, we've got sanctuary cities where they literally are allowing illegals who are also criminals to stay in this country protected. How does that happen in the United States of America? It happens because there are Democrats who are running these cities, these counties, and these states. Now, I know you're 501c3. I should never have said that word. All I want you to do is this. If you know of a sanctuary city, county, state, get involved. Because what that means is that any American citizen in that area can be victimized. And that person not only will not be arrested for victimizing an American, but he's going to be free to do it again and again. And there was a congresswoman, I think her name is Jayapal. What's her first name? Pamela. Yeah. She said this week that the reason that there's so much crime is because the illegals are afraid to report crime. And that's because we're going to put them in jail right away if they report a crime. That's not true, folks. And I want you to know that if you are an illegal who is the victim of a crime or witness to a crime, you can get what I used to give out all the time. They're called a U visa. Just a U visa. And what the U visa does is it allows you to stay in this country, even though you may be here illegally, if you in good faith cooperate with law enforcement, whether it's as a victim of a crime or a witness to a crime. But there are certain people who are arguing that we need to keep sanctuary cities so that illegals are able to continue their criminal activity because they don't want to be deported. So the United States Supreme Court this week and today, by the way, said that Khalil Mahmoud can be deported. I feel bad for Khalil. I mean, the poor guy, he only came here to get an education. The guy already got his degree. What is he still here for? Why is he still here? He is openly endorsing Hamas, which is dedicated, which is determined to be a foreign terrorist organization. He is organizing, orchestrating criminal activity that Alvin Bragg, the DA, won't prosecute him for. And he is part of a group that is here for a visa and nothing else. And they act as though they have a right to be here. You don't have a right to be here. Just like Tren de Aragua is a foreign terrorist organization and they don't have a right to be here. Okay? We've got to start getting everything clear now. And that's where we are with Donald Trump. A transparent president who we've never seen transparency like this. I mean, are you exhausted from it yet? The guy doesn't stop. He doesn't stop. And what his mission is to bring back law and order. It's to get rid of illegals who are criminals. It's to make sure that there's no more waste, fraud, and abuse. Someone in line said to me, Jeanine, when are they going to start prosecuting them? And I said, who? And they said, the waste, fraud, and abuse people. I said, well, first we've got to figure out who they are. But I have no fear that they will be prosecuted. But isn't it interesting how there's a certain party, it's 501c3, who are very upset about it? And Tim Walz came out this week and said, Elon Musk doesn't pay taxes. How dare he do this? Elon Musk is losing his business because he's over here trying to figure out where the fraud is. And by the way, he is the biggest single taxpayer in United States history. Just so you know that. Did you know that? But Tim Walz said he's never paid a dime in taxes. I'm wondering if Tim Walz ever paid a dime in taxes for all the money he got from China when he did all the teaching there. How many times did he go there? 8 times? What the hell was he doing there? But I digress. Okay, so let's talk about free trade. Free trade, free enterprise, free markets. That's not where we've been. It's sad. 90,000 manufacturing plants have left this country in the last 10 years. Now, there's a certain president who said He didn't have a magic wand to bring it back. So I guess Donald Trump must have found the magic wand. They're coming back, folks. They are coming back. And you know, I'm thrilled. And some people were upset with me. They said, you said you didn't care what happened to your 401k. I said, yeah, I said that today. I don't care. Tomorrow I'm sick about it. But today I don't care. Middle America has suffered. They have lost their jobs. They have lost their mission in life. They have lost the ability to take care of their families. People who work in factories have lost their jobs. They've lost it because they're moving the factories. Everything's being outsourced. Donald Trump is bringing it back. It can be done, folks. Did you see the shrimpers this week? We had shrimp tonight. 94% of the shrimp that we eat in this country is from Southeast Asia. Did you know that? Southeast Asia. The shrimpers in America are barely surviving. What about meat? We get $29 billion worth of meat every year from Australia. Do you know how much beef we sell to Australia? Not a hamburger. Not a one. And presidents allowed this to happen. They just sat at their desk and did all this other nonsense. Why not work for the American people? Why not take care of us? I mean, we're the ones paying the taxes. We're the ones paying the money that's being given away, and they're upset that we're upset that they're giving money for transgender shows in Chile that have nothing to do with promoting our national interest. By bringing back manufacturing, we are protecting national security. You remember COVID. Remember we couldn't get masks? Where were we getting masks from, folks? China. We were getting masks from China. It's about time we made the masks here. All the precursors for half the medicines we use are made in China. It's about time we brought them back to the United States. And that's why Donald Trump is bringing steel, making sure that steel is made in the United States. It's not just for jobs, it's for national security. Everything that's being done now is to protect us. And thank God for this man. Thank God for Donald Trump. The man is a very, very unusual man. He is nonstop. He is protecting all of us. You know, I guess when it all comes down to it, America sometimes needs to be pushed to stand up and say, we're not going to take this anymore. We're not. You can tell us till the cows come home that Donald Trump is Hitler, that he's a Russian asset, that he's a Putin puppet, and that he's a threat to democracy, that he's a Nazi. I mean, I'm curious. He was president for 4 years. He's in there now a couple of months. Who's he killed lately? You know, I don't get it, but there are people who buy it. And the lesson is we can never, ever rest on our laurels, because the destruction of this country, if it ever is to be, will be done by people within this country. And God bless people like you and the Mountain States Policy Center who take the bull by the horns and say, not anymore. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you. Thank you.